Imagine waking up, having your breakfast, and checking the headlines to find physicist Moku on all the major networks, his face marked with a worry never seen before. He repeats, with a somber expression, a single, chilling word: terrifying. No, this isn't the trailer for a summer blockbuster or a sci-fi reboot. This is the reality of 2025. The headline is accompanied by a new data leak that has shaken the world. A Manhattan-sized object, moving at an incredible speed, is approaching our solar system and will make its closest pass by Earth on December 17. This is Trace I/Atlas, the third interstellar object ever detected by humanity. Over the past few weeks, a silent, coordinated panic has spread throughout the global scientific community. Telescopes across 5 continents, the unparalleled eye of the James Webb Space Telescope, and all available radio parabolic antennas have abandoned their scheduled tasks. These powerful tools have all turned, in unison, towards a single faint ray of light. What could justify such a unified, urgent response? The panic isn't just due to Atlas's incredible speed. It's because its very chemistry seems to violate the fundamental laws of astrophysics, those laws we've confidently known and written since the 1950s. The fear generated by this discovery isn't just because of its staggering velocity. What's even more frightening is that Atlas's characteristics don't align with anything we've seen in the cosmos. Something that challenges the established norms of science and physics. Something that, as incredible as it is, may have unimaginable consequences for humanity. We are faced with a discovery that could change our understanding of the universe and the very future of Earth. It was an ordinary night. The clock struck 2:14 a.m. Universal Time Coordinated, and the Atlas telescope in Chile was doing what it did best: watching the skies. Part of a global alert system, its mission was to detect any object that might pose a threat to Earth. But on the night of July 1, 2025, something different happened. What began as a simple speck of light, barely visible to the naked eye, would soon reveal itself as the announcement of an unexpected cosmic journey. Something that had never been recorded before. This tiny light, with a magnitude of 19, far too faint for human eyes to see, was no ordinary asteroid. Its speed, 58 kilometers per second, defied all logic. To put it into perspective, imagine the Voyager 1, our fastest spacecraft, traveling at 17 kilometers per second. Atlas, however, was moving 3 times faster. But that wasn't all. The most intriguing part was yet to come. A preliminary study revealed that it wasn't part of our solar system. It was an outsider, a cosmic tourist, on a one-way path with no chance of returning. Scientists quickly discovered that its trajectory pointed to a destination far beyond anything known. A pass within Venus orbit, but with no risk of collision, and that was a relief. But the big question now was, what was making this object move so fast? Up until that point, the most plausible explanation was that the object could have been accelerated by a close pass near a massive celestial body, like Jupiter. However, the tracking of Atlas' path revealed no nearby massive object capable of justifying such speed. It was as if the object had been shot from a place that simply didn't exist. The mystery kept growing. But the real twist came with the first spectra from the James Webb Space Telescope. Atlas revealed something that could change everything we knew about the cosmos. Instead of resembling the comets we're familiar with, bodies made of ice and dust, Atlas was mostly composed of carbon dioxide. Instead of frozen water, which we expected to see in its composition, it gave off an air of strangeness, something entirely unexpected. And the surprise didn't stop there. The isotopic analysis of the carbon revealed a ratio completely off the charts. The ratio between carbon-13 and carbon-12 was far beyond what we expected. This wasn't just a small deviation, but something much deeper, a chemical fingerprint indicating that Atlas wasn't from an environment like ours. But where, then, had it been formed? This discovery suggested 2 possibilities that could rewrite our understanding of planetary formation. Either Atlas had formed around an extremely hot star, or its chemical composition had been drastically altered at some point in its journey. To make matters worse, Atlas' orbit was showing yet another puzzle. It didn't just appear to be hyperbolic, like an object crossing the solar system never to return. There was an extra acceleration, something that didn't fit the gravitational predictions. Atlas movement was being pushed by a force beyond known physics. And what seemed even more unlikely was that this acceleration had no direct explanation, not even from the release of gases like CO2. Here, a new scenario emerged. What if Atlas was a probe? A probe from a civilization far more advanced than ours? If the light sail hypothesis held, the extra acceleration could be explained by solar photon pressure, an idea that had seemed absurd until then. But the possibility of it being a probe from a Type 4 civilization, capable of manipulating the laws of physics, couldn't be dismissed. There was no imminent collision risk. But the real terror wasn't in the physical impact. The fear lay in the idea that this object represented undeniable proof that the galaxy is much stranger and more complex than we ever imagined. The universe we know, with its logic and limitations, might be just a small part of a much vaster and unknown scenario. If all this has surprised you, leave a like so more people can discover this story with you. But if the anomalous trajectory persists, if the light sail or probe hypothesis gains traction, the implications will be exponentially greater. This would suggest that we might be under observation by hardware created by builders operating on energy scales we still cannot comprehend. It would take us from being the only solitary intelligence we know to potentially being cosmic infants in a universe populated by beings of unimaginable power. Both possibilities range from rewriting textbooks to questioning the completeness of our entire understanding of physics. As telescope time requests accumulate and overwhelm the servers, the global scientific network is treating the arrival of the 3I/Atlas as a once-in-a-century event. The next window for high-resolution spectroscopy, our last chance to solve this mystery, closes in just 72 hours. After that, the object will retreat, becoming so faint that even our greatest ground-based instruments won't be able to study it in detail. We'll be left with the data we can frantically collect right now. And we'll be left with the deeply uncomfortable realization that the universe may have just sent us a final exam. One that we're nowhere near ready to accept. Keep the curiosity alive. Keep asking the tough questions. And if you have an instrument that can still see the Atlas, point it to the sky. For history rarely gives us a second version of moments like this.